Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to Where the Road Rises with me, your host, Eileen Kerlin Walsh. Today, we are going to revisit that jewel in our crown here in Palos Heights, Pathlights, the organization that assists adults as they age with resources and all kinds of help and compassion, everything that they need. And here to tell us about what is going on currently with Pathlights is Alison Parker, who is Pathlights Resource Development Manager. Welcome,
Hi.
Alison.
Thank you for having me today.
Oh, we're delighted to have you here, and we're going to ask you, just to get us started, a little bit about your background and your journey to Pathlights.
Background is really in marketing. I started doing different types of marketing work, working at agencies, and I landed at an agency that specialized in nonprofit marketing. And at the time, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could somehow get onto the other side of things and not work at an agency, but actually work at a nonprofit. So that was quite a few years ago when I kind of decided that was my goal for my life, really, was to go work in the nonprofit world. And so then a few years passed and I got to know Pathlights through actually the women's club that I'm a part of. We were donors to Pathlights and I learned more about them and I started following them. Became an advisory board member. And then when this opportunity of a resource development manager came up, I kind of jumped right on it since I knew the mission, I knew the organization and was very happy and excited about the kind of work that they were doing. And I thought, here's my chance. And so I applied and now here I am.
And Alison, I know you have a passion for human services and treating everyone regardless age, stage, income with dignity and respect, and you bring that to Pathlights. What fostered that feeling in you? What was the experience that led to that?
Honestly, I think it stemmed from a lot of mission trips that I did when I was young and in high school. And, you know, my first one, I wasn't really that excited about it, but I just, thought it would be a good experience. Ended up being one of the most life-changing experiences probably in my life, and ended up going on multiple trips after that. Once I was an adult, I went to Guatemala and did a mission trip there. So I really feel like that kind of opened my eyes to the needs of people out there, and was when I kind of decided that part of my life is always going to be giving back, and that is just a really important part of life, and that if you have the means, you should be helping those that have less and have needs. So
yes, so very early you were exposed to a way of life so different from your own and people who have so much less.
Correct, yes.
Oh, I love that. So can you recap for our viewers who are just learning about Pathlights, formerly known as PLOWs, what the organization does in the community?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, our mission is really to guide individuals along their path towards aging in whatever is the best path for them. Our goal is to keep folks at their homes as long as is safely possible, and so through a variety of programs and services we do that. Some of those people are probably familiar with, like home delivered meals. We do deliver all the meals out of Palos and Orland Townships right out of our office across the street here. And then we case manage all the clients out of also Lamont and Worth Townships as well. So we're really helping folks in the home delivered meals program. We also do adult protective services, which is essentially investigating allegations of abuse for older adults. And so we've investigated over 500 allegations of abuse just last year, and that number continues to grow. So that's another area of work that we do that's really important, and just making sure that those older adults are aging and with dignity, as safely as possible, and making sure that the environment they're in is safe. So those are kind of two of the big ones.
Yeah. And I know one of the things that many of my clients have gotten assistance with is helping with forms if they needed to apply for Medicaid.
Yes.
And which is such a bewildering experience. And I will tell you, Alison, over the 20 years that I have worked in the community, it has always been disappointing when I had a client who needed the kind of services that Pathlights offer, they were outside the district. And quite frankly, the services offered outside the district by other organizations could not hold a candle to Pathlights. So I am so excited to learn that you're expanding your district, your coverage.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So as of October 1st, we are now also providing services in Bremen and Rich Township. So with that, we've added 15 more communities to the 20 that we were already serving. So we're really excited about that, and we're really working hard to connect with the villages, the township leadership, all the folks, all the houses of worship, different leaders in the community to spread the word and make sure folks know that Pathlights is here. We will be providing all the information and resources as well as caregiving supports. That's another area that we do a lot in, is helping support the caregivers who are caring for those older adults. Maybe it's a spouse or a parent. So we will be doing all of that also in Bremen and Rich Townships. For any of the services that we are not the actual provider for, we will be making those connections and actually setting up. So for example, home delivered meals will still not technically be a Pathlights program there, but we would be connecting you with that person or resource in Bremen or Rich that actually does the home delivered meals. So we're kind of sitting a little bit on top, not necessarily like reporting wise, but in terms of the folks in the community, they can always call us, and we'll just make sure, whether it's something coming directly from the Pathlights office or another resource provider that we're partnered with, we'll make sure that they get set up and get all the needs that covered that we can.
So that begs the question about funding, because I know with what you already provided in the areas that you did provide it, your funding was often stretched. So how are you expanding your area? And maybe talk a little bit about your funding and maybe some ways that the community can help.
Yeah, so funding, a lot of the programs that we run are actually state or federal programs. And so a lot of the funding does come from partnerships we have with Age Options, who is kind of like the agency where the money flows through from the federal government to Age Options to us. They're what we call our local area on aging, agency on aging. Those funds, though, are definitely not enough to meet all of the needs and to properly serve the individuals. So all of those areas where we're seeing gaps, adult protective services is a big one, where the funding just does not cover the cost of what it takes to serve individuals. And so we are doing a lot in terms of fundraising coming up soon. We've got a fundraiser for the end of the year where we'll be raising $18,000. So that's a great way to give back. But you can always donate at any time, on our website. We've got a lot of things in the community. Like right now, we're at the very tail end of a blanket drive. So that was another way for people to kind of give us support. It's ending this month, so kind of late there. But those blankets are going to then be distributed to our most needy or our lower income individuals that we serve, making sure that they have something warm, something kind of just warm and fuzzy to give them for the, during the winter months, during the holidays and things like that.
How lovely. And you do have people volunteering their time for the organization, correct?
Most definitely. So some of our programs, like home delivered meals or our benefits advocacy kind of application programs, those are two that are extremely tied to our volunteer support. If we did not have volunteers, those programs wouldn't run. So we're always looking for meals drivers. If anyone is ever interested in volunteering, we would love to continue to expand our routes and the amount of deliveries that we can do. So we've never fully come back from pre-pandemic levels of deliveries just because of the volunteers needed to coordinate the schedules. The benefits and advocacy work is another big one. So we have volunteers who specialize in benefits assistance programs, and then they will work directly with the clients to help complete the applications, send them reminders if it's something you need to renew annually. But they are really the only way we can get that department, keep it functioning. We only have 2 full-time staff in the budget to accommodate all of the, I think it was about 1,200 applications that we did last year alone. So a lot of applications. We also have something called our ambassador program, which is kind of a different type of a volunteer program where you don't necessarily commit to a specific program or a date or time, but it's more people who are currently working and might not be able to come in during the days, and professionals in the aging industry environment or industry that really help do events for us, help spread the word, build awareness. They only meet about 6 times a month, and then we have some subcommittees that are doing different projects, like the blanket drive is something that was an ambassador-driven project.
Lovely.
So that's just another way to get involved.
And this year, you and I have been able to work together so that, as you say, there are some busy professionals who can't give their time or talent, but they can certainly sponsor what the organization does. So maybe tell our viewers, for some local business owners, how they can sponsor these wonderful endeavors on behalf of Pathlights, and what your corporate partnerships look like.
Yeah, so we have a variety of sponsorship opportunities. Our annual sponsorship program has been around for just a couple years now, but it's really a great opportunity to have your logo and your name kind of tied with Pathlights for the entire year. You'll get some visibility on our website, but we do a lot of educational events, and I think the best part about the annual sponsorship program is kind of depending on the level of sponsorship you're at, you will be able to sponsor one of our educational events, maybe more depending kind of on what level you're at. So that's a great opportunity to get, like I said, that annual kind of visibility. You're in our newsletter, things like that. Next year, when we celebrate our 50th anniversary, we've got some additional opportunities. So we're very, very excited about celebrating 50 years of Pathlights, formerly Plows Council on Aging. And next year we will be doing a large fundraising gala, which we've never done a gala before, so we're really, really excited about that. Lots of sponsorship opportunities available for the gala. That's going to be on May 2nd. It's a Friday night, so whether it's a sponsor or you want to just come buy a ticket and join the event, we're going to have live music and auctions and raffle baskets and all that good stuff. So that's another opportunity. We will also be putting together our first educational symposium. That's going to be next fall, so we're still a little up in the air on the exact date. We're booking a venue now, but it will be probably in September of 2025, and we'll have some keynote speakers, we'll have a vendor area, we will also be having some smaller breakout sessions for folks, but that's really a community event. It'll be free for the public to come and just learn, and so we've got a variety of sponsorship opportunities for that as well. And then Trivia Night, that's something I forgot about. Trivia Night, that's coming up in February, and it's just another fun community event, a way to get people involved and to learn a little bit more about what we do while having fun and hanging out with your friends.
And you mentioned several times the educational opportunities. So Pathlights, almost every month, if not more, have opportunities for the seniors and their families to come along and learn about every aspect of estate planning, of Social Security, Medicare, their Medicaid, everything that a senior and their family would need to know about the process of aging. There are experts who will come in and give this information free in these wonderful settings throughout the community. So really, truly, I'm a huge, huge fan of the organization, and I'm excited about everything you're going to be doing in 2026, and I want to be part of it, Alison. I want to ask you now on kind of a deeper level, so you see daily the need that we have in our community, and I certainly see it in my office with estate planning too, and you see those who are attempting to meet the need, and you see the gaps, the organizations, the non-for-profits. How are we doing? How are we doing with meeting the needs of our most vulnerable? Are we there, or do we have a ways to go?
I mean, I think that we have a ways to go. There's a lot we can do as a community and society to help support those most vulnerable. And I do believe personally that we all should be living at a certain level of dignity, and that it doesn't matter kind of your circumstance, that you still deserve that treatment and to live at a certain level with a roof over your head and food on the table. And so, I really see that we're lacking in some areas. Obviously I think older adults could definitely use some more support as the seniors continue to age, and the boomers is one of the largest generations. We are going to be really in a tough position where people aren't going to be able to afford their care, and how are these older adults going to be taken care of. I also see a lot of needs for youth and children. Mental health is so big right now, and I know people are waiting 6 months, a year sometimes, just to get in front of the right mental health professionals. So, I think there's really a lot that as a society we kind of need to examine, like what are the resources that are really lacking, and how do we get more people involved in providing those resources. That's a tough one.
Absolutely, Alison, and you've got a big heart for that kind of help, and your path certainly took you to the right place. And if we all feel we could do more, a great start would be calling your office and saying, what can we do to help? If there's somebody in the community who has, what do we say, time, talent, or treasure to volunteer with, to give away, to give back, let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Yeah, so the best way would actually be to probably go to our website. We do have an application for volunteers there. We also have an ambassador application. So if you know that volunteering is the way you'd like to support us, that's an easy way to kind of get a quick application in. It's not a lot of questions, and we will give you a call and see what you'd like to do. You could also give us a call at our office. Our phone number is 708-361, let me make sure I got the right number, 361-0219. And you could also email me, and I am more than open to having direct conversation with folks. My email is aparker@pathlights.org.
Thank you, viewers, and we will get that up on the screen for you. And how about if we end with your favorite quote, poem, biblical verse, meme? Is there something, words that you love and that you live by, Alison?
Well, I do have posted in my office on the wall a quote from Winston Churchill, and it says, "You make a living by what you get, you make a life by what you give." And I think that that's definitely how I'm trying to live my life. You get more out of giving than you do out of taking. So
I love it. What a perfect way for us to come into the Thanksgiving season and towards the holiday season. And I know you have a big fundraising event coming up in December. So that's something that we can all look towards and contribute towards as well. Alison, it has just been a delight to talk to you. You yourself are a wonderful ambassador for Pathlights, and I feel richer for knowing you.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for coming on the show and sharing your insights. And thank you, viewers, for watching. And I will see you next time on Where the Road Rises. Goodbye.